Here's another story for you about how God encountered a young girl because he loved her so much and had chosen her to belong to him. Her name is Saru. When Saru was a baby, I'm sure her mother loved her very much. But unfortunately, her mother did not live. She was about 4 years old when her mother passed away. Then she lived for a time with her dad. But as is probably, I could say, the custom here, a man does not stay single very long if he loses his wife. He quite quickly finds a new wife. And as is also the habit, the custom here, the stepmother says, I will marry you, but I don't want to look after your children. And so the man got married, and his children were left somewhere else. Saru had an older sister, and so she and her sister lived together for a time. By and by, someone wanted to marry the sister, and yes, you guessed it, the same thing happened. The new husband said, I will marry you, but I'm not going to look after your sister. And so once again, for the second, third time in her life, this poor little girl was rejected. There was only one chance for her, one opportunity where she could live, and that was because she had an older brother who was a monk at a local Buddhist pagoda. And so he asked if his little sister could come. By now she was 12 or 13 years old, and she was able to go to the pagoda and stay there. But they don't have a place for orphans or for children. And so what she had to be was a Buddhist nun. Buddhist nuns usually are old ladies, grannies, who are kind of getting to the end of their lives, and they want to live at the pagoda in order to make merit so that they can, maybe in the next reincarnation, they can have a better situation. But this little girl was only 12 or 13. They shaved her head and dressed her in white nun clothes, and she lived in a room all by herself. My heart goes out to this poor child, living like that. Even if it was only for a short time, I don't know how long it was, until somebody found her, said, oh, this is not a good situation for a little girl. And they brought her to us. In the beginning, she came with her head shaved, and she looked a little bit scared, a little bit uneasy, but it wasn't long before she realized this was a good place. It wasn't long before she realized that this grandma, this Matye, loved her very, very much. And oh, how she responded to that love. She would walk along beside me and hold my hand and say to me, Grandma, I love you with all my heart. And certainly that feeling was mutual. She is such a special girl to me. And as time went on, that shaved head grew into a mop of black curls. She is smiley and lovely, and she's going to have a good future because God stepped into her life. She had her encounter with God. I think she'll have many more as she grows up. I thought of her as the Lord put into my mind and into my heart last weekend. The wonderful song that was written so long ago and sung by Simon and Garfunkel. And when you get to the end, I wish you would be as moved as I was, because I just sobbed when I listened to them say, sail on, silver girl, your time has come to shine.